Hi Virginia, it's Rob. I'm wanting to go over your video with you, give you some more information, and just reiterate some of the things that we talked about. What I'm going to do here first is let a couple of your swings go. This was you right off the street, and this is what we were doing. So I'm going to let one, maybe two go. So here we go. Let's take a look. Okay, let's see one more. Then I'll bring you back to this position. We'll talk about some of the things that we talked about. All right. Okay, I'm going to stop it there. Back you up, get you in a setup position. Okay, as we talked about, I'd like you to come out of this knee flex a little more. We want to be, as we're just gingerly sitting on a bar stool. Okay, right now we're a little weight too far out onto our toes. I want to see it ideally on the balls of your feet. And so we're able to make an athletic move. The other thing we talked about is that you're used to looking down on top of the golf ball. I want to get you in a little bit better position so we can get that shoulder traveling unimpeded under your chin. All right, so we'll get you back in this position a little bit better. There you go. All right, so get you halfway back, take a look at it, and that's we talked about hip high. So let's sneak you through this. And this again is where we're used to extending our arms so much. So hip high is about here. Again, if I take a line off the shadow of your club, you can see the big deviation from our target line. And we talked about geometry and physics. So we want to be more on this line. Right now, if I take a line off of your club head, it's really stuck behind you. If I take this and draw a line toward the target, you're going to notice this club is coming behind you. We want this thing more out in front of you. Something that's going to look more like this. It's going to be out in front of you. You know, we talked about hip high, getting it level to the ground. So it's going to look something like this. And it's going to be out here in front of you. All right? I'd like to see the club head somewhere in this region out here, out in front of us. Okay? Somewhere in that circle right there. Probably a little higher for you to make sure about hip high is going to be at that top orange circle for you with the club out in front of us. All right? And we talked about that hanging chin. So you're going to block. Right now, you're getting ready to be blocked where your shoulder level's here. Okay, wrong tool. Right one. So right now, your shoulder level is here. And your chin level is here. That's going to create a block, and we block, we must sway or bend our arm, and you actually bend your arm. So here we go. Take you through it a little bit. So we get you're blocked right now, and you'll notice the arm starts to bend immediately. And by the time we get to our backswing, bring your attention to the bend in the arm. We have about a 50-degree bend in that arm, which we know we want to keep relatively straight. All right. So if we get this arm relatively straight and stop when our waist stops, the club head's going to be more on this line. We have talked about not having to get back so far since we're using a body move. Well, right now what you've established at address is your plane or swing plane or angle of attack right here would perfectly match. And as you can see, this here matches absolutely nothing. Okay. So we got you there. Then we want to bring, so we manipulated this left arm. So at some point, somehow, we're going to have to get that straight again. So get rid of this. And as we start our downswing, so you'll notice as we start our downswing, here again, we're making an arm swing at this golf ball. But right about here, we get relatively straight. If I stop you in here, this is about a hip-high position, really. But look what we've accomplished trying to get back to it. Pretty dang good to our target line. Right? So that bend way too far back using the arm swing is all a manipulation. We want to stay more compact, just like Iron Byron. But in this position, you're in a good hitting position. You have a relatively straight left arm. You're tucked into your side here with the right arm. Right? So this is all we really need. From here, it would just be a level hip turn to the top. It's going to put your club somewhere in this fashion. Well, that absolutely matches your swing plane. Right? That's what we talk, geometry and physics. We want to set ourselves up to make a nice straight swing. All right? Now we're going to bring you into impact. Get rid of this. Bring you down into impact. Okay. You are releasing your hands here, whether you know it or not. If I look at these hands, see how the right hand is starting to overtake the left hand right now? You're releasing your hands. Even with trying to hit the back of the ball at this point, you're still releasing your hands really good. That's going to give you a nice straight ball flight. So what you've been doing, the reason you've been able to play as well as you have is because of this release move right here. We're going to get rid of everything, shear it all up, get it a little more compact, stay a little more connected to our body, and utilize that as our machine and our engine into the golf swing. But if you watch the track of your golf ball right here, you'll see it tracks dead straight. So that release move is what's saving you, whether you knew it or not. So we want to put it to work and get in this alignment right here quicker. So the club's out here in front of us, right? If I go here, this is the shadow of your club right here. Matches the shadow. Those two match, and these two match as well. So we don't, from here, we don't need a whole lot more to make our body swing. Again, going to be somewhere in this fashion. You're used to getting way back here. We want to give it here, so when the hip rotation stops, so do the arms, and that puts us on plane to make a nice straight golf swing. All right. So again, some of the things we talked about. Knee flex, let's come out of that knee flex. Barely sitting on the bar stool. Let's get in the halfway position, back. Much easier with a nice loose grip. We call that the oil to the golf swing. So we'd like to see that grip nice and loose. You will inevitably tighten it up as you get to the golf ball. We don't want to tighten it up prior to that. We want the muscles to be nice and flexible and be able to rotate to our fullest extent. All right, so nice knee flex. Let's get that head back, looking down your nose at the golf ball as opposed to on top of it. Buy some real estate under there for the left shoulder to travel unimpeded. Keep the left arm relatively straight, right arm tucked in. And from the top, we drop down. The first move down is gravity. And we simply add to gravity as we come through the golf swing. Utilizing our body as an engine and unleashing our hips as well as our hands right at the point of impact from the 7 o'clock to 1 o'clock position is going to buy you a lot more real estate as far as accuracy and absolutely as far as distance. That release move is like snapping that whip. All right, so work on this. I want to thank you for your business. If you feel you'd like to see me again, please feel free to contact me at your earliest convenience. Right now, I'm going to wish you a great big one. Aloha.